Good evening and welcome. This is Office Hours. I am your host. I am an industry engineer who reads science and engineering news. You can watch Office Hours live here on Rumble every Monday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time and every Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. Please like, share, and subscribe because it does feed the AI algorithm. Lastly, if you have comments and or questions, I invite you to please post them in the comment section below or in the chat. It'd be great to hear from you either way. Thanks for being here. It's so great to be here. It's so great to be here with you. Happy Saturday. I hope you had a wonderful week and you're having a wonderful weekend. And I always kind of like Saturdays, Saturday nights. It's more of a sci-fi night for me. Kind of kick back and relax from the week because my weeks are always busy. I'm always keeping myself busy, and I hope you are too. So, like I've said in previous podcasts, we're going to be covering some AI, and we will be doing that tonight. And I know there's a lot of let's just say there's a lot of fantastical ideas about AI in the market right now, and I know that um, governments are passing policies or thinking about passing policies to try to do something about that. And I understand that sentiment, but at the same time, as someone with my background, my education and experience, I can safely say that Skynet probably isn't anywhere near on the horizon. So I think with that said, I don't even do the article and we're done for tonight. Good night, everyone. I'm just kidding. Of course, I'm just kidding. And I will get better at delivering that joke in the future at some point. But here we're going to get to our article for this evening. In popular mechanics, and as you've probably noticed by now, I bump around. I I use a lot of different articles from a lot of different sources, and so I try to keep things new and interesting for us. But here we go. Title of the article: A scientist says the singularity will happen by 2031. Subtitle: Maybe even sooner. Are you ready? I am ready. And by the way, when I say it's likely not going to happen anytime soon, and I mean really anytime soon, I mean it could, it's possible. Uh, I I say that with somebody comes that comes from the background with a mathematics and engineering, or comes from a mathematics and engineering background. In addition, I've been influenced by some philosophy as well. And maybe I'll say this. I'll probably repeat this couple, not maybe, but I'll repeat this couple times this evening during this video. That if you really want to do a deep dive, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, and I mean that, like if you've actually read Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, you know exactly what I mean by that. When she follows a rabbit down the hole, and in the book just gets crazy from there. Like literally, if you want to dive into this stuff and see what the different positions are and the thinking on this is. And by the way, this is really interesting stuff. And I'm one that I hope artificial intelligence does gain consciousness. I'm all there. I just don't see it. But so the field, if you want to jump into it, philosophy of the mind. Start reading stuff on the philosophy of the mind. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with what you find down there. So this article is written by Tim Newcomb, November 9th, so just a couple days old. I try to keep things like I said, I try to keep things as fresh as possible. I will from time to time go back and read articles that are older. I thought this was a cool pick. Bunch of letters. Cool stuff. Oh, okay, so we have some bullet points here to consider and think about. First, the singularity, the moment where AI is no longer under human control, is less than a decade away, according to one AI expert. So I did a little bit extra reading for this video. Sometimes terms can be conflated a little bit. The singularity, uh, the definition here is the moment AI is no longer under human control. I've seen other people write that the singularity is when the intelligence of AI exceeds that of us. And so I think there's some disagreement on when this singularity uh, will happen. Now I'm hoping uh, this CEO, this gentleman, I'm hoping he's actually referring to consciousness when he refers to that, because that's how I think of the singularity. When I think of AI, it becomes conscious, like we are. Um, what does consciousness mean? Well, when somebody is self-aware, they can question their own existence. That would be a definition I would start off with. But then, would any other species on planet Earth be able to do that like us? Right? We're unique because we develop our own math. We develop mathematics. We can write down history. We can build these large objects like skyscrapers and airplanes and really cool stuff like that. And other animals, they don't do that. It's not to say beavers build dams so they can do that, but it's not really in the same ballpark. I don't think beavers are questioning their own existence. Yeah, see here, the second bullet point. More resources than ever are being poured into pursuit of artificial general intelligence and spreading the growth of AI. That and AI, the amount of resources and capital poured into AI should pay dividends to the companies and the countries that are willing to invest in it. It should change our culture and society, like like computers changed our culture and society. And like I've said in past podcasts, the computer created more jobs, not less. Now, there were a lot of jobs that were destroyed because of computers, but there were a lot more jobs that were created than were destroyed. And I suspect a similar thing will happen with AI. And I think if you go all the way back through the Industrial Revolution, that's pretty much how it's gone with new technologies. As they enter the market, there's a need for that in the market. So educational institutions of education, they will then create programs to educate people, to push them out to the market to be able to supply that demand for what companies need. Uh, from what I'm seeing, that's generally what happens. So maybe you don't see that. Maybe you disagree with me. If you do, I definitely like to hear from you. So please post your comment please post your comment below. Third bullet here. Development of AI is also coming from a variety of sectors, pushing the technology forward faster than ever before. Yeah, so it's obviously it is happening in a lot of different sectors, but not necessarily at the same rate. It depends on the need of the sector. So I'll give you for example, in one sector, maybe in let's see, let me find a good one. Maybe like infrastructure, software infrastructure. So like AWS, there is more of a need for AI technology. Whereas if you get into the agricultural sector, the need for AI is less. Doesn't mean there's not AI. It just means there's less of a need for it at the moment because maybe the technologies haven't caught up. Uh, maybe it's possible that they just haven't discovered those technologies yet. So generally, AI is built on a piece of technology. Then that technology is put on something. Let's say a agricultural machine, and then it's used. So that could be one example. But the point being is that different sectors, different companies, they will use different levels of AI, meaning they will implement AI differently within their companies for whatever their needs are. So it's not all going to happen at the same time. So let's see here. Let's start out the article here. So the article starts. There's at least one expert who believes that the singularity, the moment when artificial intelligence surpasses the control of humans, could be just a few years away. Like I said just a few minutes ago, uh, we might be dealing with a couple different definitions of the singularity. One being where artificial intelligence of humans, another being that the singularity is consciousness for artificial intelligence. So we're dealing with a couple different, at least two different definitions of this. And the definition is kind of important because they'll let us know where we're at. And so the article continues here. That's a lot shorter than current predictions regarding the timeline of AI dominance, especially considering that AI dominance is not exactly guaranteed in the first place. No, it is not. Um, and of course, that depends on what you mean by dominance. AI could dominate the market and makes everyone's lives better, or AI could be Skynet, could dominate the market and be Skynet and enslave everyone. Right? Those are big. Those are big. Those are worlds apart. So it just depends on what we're talking about. Uh, like I've said in previous podcasts, previous shows, AI, we will integrate with AI. It doesn't mean that AI will be necessarily be integrated in us and will become cyborgs, but like computers have integrated into our lives, so will AI. AI will be useful for some things and it'll be completely useless for other things. But again, that position doesn't sell. Uh, that position's not going to sell clicks and views, right? I'm not going to give you a crazy, fantastical uh, outlook of what AI is going to be. I'm going to give you an outlook of what AI is going to be based off of my own experience and education uh, with AI. That's what I'm going to give you. So mine's probably going to be a bit more grounded. Not good for CNN, not good for Fox News. So anyway, uh, the article continues. Ben Gortzo, CEO of Singularity Net, who holds a PhD in mathematics, we'll look at his Wikipedia page here in a moment, from Temple University, has worked as a leader of Humanity Plus in the Artificial General Intelligence Society, told Decrypt that he believes artificial general intelligence, AGI, is 3 to 8 years away. I can tell you in one of my undergraduate courses, which is a philosophy course, I won't say which course, but it was an advanced philosophy course. Yeah, we were coming up with reasons why, or we were kind of talking about, we were on the same topic, like when will AI emerge? And we gave different reasons or different barriers to entry for AI, and mine was game theory. So far, I haven't seen anybody talk about game theory with respect to AI and how game theory is either going to help AI emerge as an intelligence or create a barrier to emergence. Uh, so all animals in nature abide by game theory, and you've seen shows on I can't remember what cable show that is when when they're looking at lions and hyenas fighting, competing against each other. That's a game that can be analyzed in game theory. Uh, Cops and robbers can be analyzed in a game as a game in game theory. Uh, and there are other famous ones which elude my memory at the moment. But we once you know a little bit about game theory, and game theory is a really interesting field. Originally started off as mathematics, but has entered into, generally now, I believe if you take a game theory course, it's going to be an economics course. But once you jump into game theory, you see game theory everywhere, everywhere. Political game theory. You've seen game theory all the time in current politics. Like, it's crazy how much game theory is in there. So that's something that I never hear about. That's why I'm always suspicious of these things, and until somebody addresses that for me, Uh, I will continue to be on the continue to be on the position that I'm on, which is, yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see it anytime soon. And just as an aside, in that class on that day when we were talking about this stuff, I said because of that barrier, because that problem hasn't been solved, I estimated about 300,000 years, and nobody disagreed with me. I had a room full of 30 students, all from different backgrounds, taking that class, and nobody disagreed with me. But again, that's not going to sell. That's not going to sell products and clicks and views in the market, and it's not good for movies either. And if you're listening to this for the first time, I may have just ruined artificial intelligence for you. I apologize if I just did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I destroyed that fantasy. Anyway, the article continues here. AGI is. I should have put up a warning, a trigger warning or something like that. May trigger warning may destroy your perception of AI in media, in movies. I should have put that. I think I just did a Neil deGrasse Tyson on everyone. I ruined the physics in a movie. So I ruined all the movies involving AI, Terminator, The Creator, and stuff like that. I want to go see The Creator, by the way. Actually, it looks like a really good movie. And I like that director because he did Rogue One, and Rogue One was the only new Star Wars movie I actually liked. And has that kind of feel to it. So I actually want to go see that movie. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be entertaining. And maybe I'll do an episode on it at some point. All right, so the article continues here. AGI is the term for AI that can truly perform tasks just as well as humans, and it's a prerequisite for the singularity soon following. Okay, well, humans can do a lot. We can do a lot, right? Uh, we can live on every continent and survive, including Antarctica. We could live on Antarctica if we wanted to. We could build cities on Antarctica if we wanted to. We have the technology now. Be easy for us to survive there because we built the technology, right? We are self-sustaining uh, species that can pretty much adapt to any environment. Now, space, that's a different question, and I don't know a lot about physiology or anatomy in space, meaning outside Earth's orbit or on other planets. That's not my field of expertise. But I would assume, based off of our prior success building technologies to live in hostile environments, we could probably do that. We could probably do that. So yeah, regarding what, can AI perform tasks as well as humans? Probably in some areas, but humans can do a lot. We can do a lot. It's hard to compete against us. And if you know anything about physical anthropology and human history regarding our species living with other humanoid species that lived with us on this planet, if you believe in that type of thing, we outcompeted everyone. We outcompeted everyone. So uh, I would this by itself is I just don't see it. A person would have to draw the map for me to be able to see this, like what we have right now versus competing with us. Again, and that would account, say, game theory would come back into that equation for us. Like it would have to be able to compete against us. That's what I mean by the game theory. But it just doesn't. We tell it what to do. We tell AI what to do. And that's it. I hate to say this, but AI is kind of dumb. Like computers are just dumb. So I'll leave that point here for the moment. Maybe we'll come back to it. Article continues. Whether you believe him or not, there's no sign of the AI push slowing down anytime soon. Yeah, no, there's not, because there's trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars out there in the marketplace waiting for it. So no, this is going to become a part of our lives. The question is, how do we interact with it? How do we include it in our lives? Right. Uh, Large language models from the likes of Meta and OpenAI, along with the AGI focus of Elon Musk's XAI, are all pushing hard towards growing AI. Yes. Yeah. You could grow AI a lot, and doesn't mean AI is necessarily going to become self-aware, right? And actually, that would be the really good definition. That would actually be the simplistic. That would be a really simple but yet accessible way to understand what do we mean by the singularity? What do we mean by consciousness? It's self-aware. Right? That would actually probably be a good place to start, instead of having using terms like the singularity and different definitions and stuff like that. So some of that stuff can get a bit esoteric, right? In fields like mathematics and computer science and artificial intelligence, data science. I mean, that those terms are okay to use, but when we're trying to communicate with people in general, and I think Carl Sagan was really good at this, you use terms that people in general can understand, that allows them to be able to be a part of the conversation and ask questions, right? And by the way, there's no dumb questions. I mean, there's dumb people, but there's no dumb questions. So, and sometimes if you might be wondering what the question is, what the you might be you might want to ask the question, but you're embarrassed. But then there are 10 other people around you that also want to ask the same question. So what I do all the time is I usually preface this with people. I always say, I want to ask a dumb question. I've had people tell me like they would say, and I quote, "I find it hard to believe that that you're capable of asking a dumb question." But and that might be the case, but I always preface it with, "I need to ask you a dumb question," because then they're automatically see. There's a little bit of persuasion going on that I use, because then people are going to look at me like, "No, I think no, 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 you don't ask dumb questions." So now they're defending me. And of course, I'm not going to argue with them. So if you want to do that, if you want to preface with that, you that alone might be worth the listen of this 30 minutes that I'm going to do today. That alone might be worth the listen. The fact is that if you're afraid of asking dumb questions, always preface the question with, "I want to, can I, it's okay if I ask you a dumb question." People will defend you. I've never had anybody tell me that was a dumb question. Not once. And I do it all the time now. Something you might be able to use. All right, so Gertzel told, so the article here quotes, "These systems have greatly increased the enthusiasm of the world for AGI, general intelligence." All right, so I think what they're saying here, artificial general intelligence, I think they're talking about when does AI, and that's when AI becomes self-aware. Gertzel told Decrypt, and I quote, "So you'll have more resources, both money and just human energy." Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. You're going to have a lot more money in the marketplace. AI might just be the thing that gets us out of debt. It might just be the thing. If government can prevent itself, uh, uh, and the money machine going burr, it might just be the thing we need. Because poverty, I'm not going to do this. Well, I'll just say this: poverty is an energy issue. At its fundamental level, poverty all well at the fundamental level, all problems are energy problems. All of them. If you break them down to the most fundamental level, all problems are energy problems. I think I said in a couple of podcasts ago that the unemployment rate in 1820 was 10%, and it was 90% in 1820, and it was 10% today, or something like that. And I actually got my term wrong. I meant poverty. So poverty was 90% in 1820, but today it's like 10% globally, I believe, because it's going to be lower in some places and higher in others. But either way, the trajectory is decreased poverty. But one of the reasons why poverty is decreased is because the access to resources and energy, and basically everything is energy. And so the more energy we're able to produce, the more likely people are going to be are not going to be in poverty, or are going to be stable and secure. And if you're stable and secure, that means you can generate more talent to start generating more technology. So uh, it should have this feedback effect, and that may not necessarily be exponential, but there should be this feedback effect where you have more energy, you create more stability and security. You have more time to think about things because you're safe. Now you can do more stuff with your brain. Hence, now you can build more technology. And then you can and that creates more energy, and then now you have more stability and security. Now you're safe. Now you can use your brain. So stuff like that, right? So it has this feedback effect on itself, and I think that's what we've been seeing with the advent of the industrial revolution in the early 20th century. Is that process, and it started off kind of slow, but it kept going. It kept increasing, increasing, increasing. So just a little bit of economics mixed in there with this stuff. But that's why. But so okay, so let me finish the thought here. So if you include AI in that, now AI becomes the next level, right? Standard Oil was the next level through John D. Rockefeller in uh, the middle 19th century, right? Uh, you get now you have Elon Musk and his companies. You have Amazon. No matter how you feel about Amazon, Amazon's actually created a situation where people can get information much more quickly than they could in the past. Right? I can go on Amazon right now and buy a book, and I'll get it Monday morning. So I have access to more information, and I'll get it for like $10. And it'll be a mathematics book. That's incredible. Now, and of course, computers did the same thing. They changed. They took us up to another level. Now AI will take us up to another level. And so, what will AI do? I don't know. Nobody knows what AI is going to do. But based off of what's happened in the past with other technologies, it's probably just going to make our lives better. That's probably what it's going to do. All right. So, article continues here. When the concept of AI started first emerged as early as the 1950s. Yes, goes back to cybernetics in the 1940s and probably before that, actually 1930s, I believe. Gertzo says that its development was driven by the United States military and seen primarily as a potential national defense tool. So I was going to say the mathematics for AI goes back a couple hundred years, if not 300 years. It's a development tool by the United States military, gives us an advantage on the world stage compared to other countries. But companies are going to want to get their hands on it. They're going to want to use it, right? And ultimately, they use it to make everyone's lives better. Article continues here. Recently, however, progress in the field has been propelled by a variety of drivers with a variety of motives. Article quotes here. Now the why is making money for companies, he says, but also interestingly for artists or musicians, it gives you a cool it gives you cool tools to play with. Yeah, so maybe for a minute people thought it was going to replace artists and musicians. Now it'll just integrate with artists and musicians that know how to use it best. And those are the people who end up making money. Like YouTube now is competing with Hollywood, right? So let me ask you a question. You get your entertainment from YouTube or you get your entertainment from Hollywood? Or is it more of like a mix? Right. It's probably a mix. And you might watch YouTube more, YouTube or Rumble as well. Right. But the point is you're going to watch these platforms more than, let's say, you would watch Hollywood or television shows. Right. You're watching my podcast. My podcast resides in the place of news, science, and engineering. And yeah, I only have a few followers. Thank you to those people who are following me. If you do like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate the followers. Um, as of right now, I do not qualify for a my own little URL through Rumble, but I have a feeling if I get a couple more followers, that will happen, and it'd be great to be able to do that. But anyway, you can come here, you could watch my podcast, or you can go watch Neil deGrasse Tyson or somebody else. So now you have a lot of options. But either way, we're competing. Although I suspect Dr. Tyson doesn't know I'm competing against him, and I'm not. He talks about different things. And by the way, he was greatly influential on my thinking and my interest in science and engineering. Although I would say Gene Roddenberry, he's the king for me. So he's the one who greatly probably influenced me the most. But yeah, okay. So the article continues here. Recently, however, progress in the field has been propelled by a variety. I think I already read that part, but I'll keep reading it. By a variety of drivers, with a variety of motives. Now, the why is making money for companies, he says, but also interestingly for artists or musicians, it gives you cool tools to play with. Yes, that's true. Uh, Article ends here. Getting to the singularity, though, will require a significant leap from the current point of AI development. I agree with that. While today's AI typically focuses on specific tasks, the push towards AGI is intended to give the technology a more human-like understanding of the world and open up its abilities. As AI continues to broaden its understanding, it steadily moves closer to AGI, which some say is just one step away from singularity. Let's see, is there anything else here? Apparently, there's more. Oh, okay, so I got a couple more paragraphs. I did it again. My apologies. So the article continues here. It's got last bit of this. The technology isn't there yet, and some experts caution we are truly a lot further from it than we think, if we get there at all. But the quest is underway regardless. Musk, for example, created XAI in the summer of 2023 and just recently launched the chatbot Grok to assist humanity in its quest for understanding and knowledge, according to routers. Musk also called AI the most disruptive force in history. Yes, up until now, but something will come after AI. Computers came before they were disruptive. Things came before computers, they were disruptive. Things came before that, they were disruptive. So it's always one technology entering the market, mixing everything up. And then in 40, 50 years, we kind of get the settled result, so to speak. But this is always happening, especially in our market. Free markets do this. Obviously, non-free markets wouldn't do this. They just don't have the flexibility. But I think it's cool you gave it a name. That Chat GPT. I'd rather say Grok than Chat GPT. But I don't know. Yeah, I think that's cool. They should start naming things. Let's see. With many of the most influential tech giants, Google, Meta, and Musk pursuing the advancement of AI, the rise of AGI may be closer than it appears. Only time will only o- o- only time will tell if I can't read. Only time will tell if we will get there and if the singularity will follow. By the way, with me in that sentence, if you were sitting there listening to the show and you're kind of like, okay, come on, finish the sentence, you can do it, I would be okay with that. If you're making fun of me on that, I'm okay with that. Just let me know. I want to enjoy the humor as well. So anyway, this didn't really say anything about the singularity. I think it more or less just kind of let us know where we were at, right? It didn't really give any indication of if the singularity was going to happen like tomorrow, just in a few years. It's kind of vague on its details, but anyway, Ben Goertzel is an interesting dude. So here's his Wikipedia page. He's a cognitive scientist, artificial intelligence researcher, CEO and founder of Singularity Net, leader of Open Cog Foundation and the AGI Society, and chair of Humanity Plus. He helped popularize the term artificial general intelligence. So interesting background, bachelor's degree in quantitative studies. He's got a PhD in mathematics. So the guy knows what he's talking about. The guy is obviously worked in industry. He works with AI on a daily basis, and yeah, he's close to it. He down here. Yeah, and here's his career. It's an interesting career, impressive, right? So views on AI, and what really struck me most about this is he's written a lot, and so there's obviously a lot for me to dig my teeth into and read through. A lot of interesting stuff, uh, and so yeah, the guy has some serious cred. I would be interested to talk to him just to see kind of where we disagree, or if we even disagree on anything. It's like I want to know why he actually thinks it would happen in the next 5 to 8 years or 10 years. I would like to know why, and then I would be able to provide my reasons for why it's not, and I'd like to be able to hear his feedback, or if he even considered those things. That I'd like to have that conversation. That'd be a really interesting conversation. Uh, like I said at the start of this, I hope AI becomes self-aware in my lifetime. That'd be awesome. I just don't know if it's going to happen or not. But I like to hear other arguments. I'd be really interested in that. And but that's all I got for tonight. I think so far this is my best show. I definitely had a lot of fun. I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope I perked some curiosity with you. I hope maybe I pique some interest in this topic. Maybe you have lots of questions. That's good. If you have questions, you should always come away with something like is some. You should always come away with from something with more questions. You should always ask questions. Why? Why? It's always a good way to approach things. And but yeah, this was fun. I like doing this. As you see, I've done a little bit of branding change since I'm over here at Rumble. I can go to the brand that I really originally wanted to, which is Engineer AI. And to be honest, Engineer IDE is I don't find it. I don't have an issue with it, but ID it's a little bit longer. It's not as recognizable. And IDE means Integrated Development Environment. Again, it's not as common. AI is common in language. Engineer is common in language. And frankly, IDE, somebody could probably maybe get that mixed up with DEI. And I didn't want to mix those two things. So I think the branding for Engineer AI is closer to what I wanted to do originally, and I think it's a good change, and it's easier to remember. And as far as like Twitter and stuff like that, apparently somebody already has that uh, what I call URL. I think there's a different term for it, but or tag or brand. But the person's like following one person and doesn't have any followers, and they've had the account since 2010. So that's kind of frustrating because I would actually use that. But I have some alternatives I'm thinking of. But for right now, I'm just going to focus on this on Rumble, and I'll be here exclusively for the foreseeable future. Thanks again for your time. This has been great. I hope you have a wonderful Saturday night and a wonderful rest of your weekend. I will see you soon, Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Be safe. Enjoy yourself, no matter where you are or what part of the planet you're on, or maybe you're on another planet listening to this. That would be really cool. Hopefully that will happen someday. We need to ask Elon to make that happen. I think he's trying to make that happen. Have a good night. Be safe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.